Imagine stepping outside one evening and looking up to see the moon growing larger by the second, plummeting toward Earth at incredible velocity. What would actually unfold if our lunar companion collided with our planet? The moment the moon begins its fatal approach, the most immediate consequence would be catastrophic tidal disruptions. Ocean waters would surge and retreat in ways never seen before, swallowing entire coastal metropolises beneath the waves. The moon's intensifying gravitational pull would wreak havoc on everything orbiting Earth. Satellites would spiral out of control, transforming our sophisticated communication networks into worthless debris floating in space. The ground beneath your feet would become violently unstable. Earthquakes would shake the planet relentlessly, day after day. Volcanoes dormant for millennia would suddenly roar to life, spewing ash and lava across the landscape. But here's where things get unexpectedly beautiful. When the moon reaches approximately 11,000 miles from Earth's surface, something remarkable happens. Our planet's gravity would become so overwhelming that it would literally rip the moon apart. The result? Earth would be adorned with magnificent ring system rivaling Saturn's legendary bands. Those fortunate enough to survive this apocalyptic event would witness one of nature's most spectacular displays. These pristine rings would glisten brilliantly in the sunlight, and every single night would feature dazzling meteor showers composed of pulverized lunar material. I'll admit, despite the unimaginable devastation this would cause, there's a part of me that wishes we could see those rings arcing across our sky. Let's journey back to 1977, when NASA launched two remarkable spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, on what would become humanity's most ambitious voyage. These twin probes were designed to exploit an extraordinary cosmic alignment of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, a configuration that occurs only once every 175 years. As they journeyed outward from our solar system, the Voyagers captured breathtaking photographs of these distant worlds and explored their mysterious moons for the first time in human history. But these aren't ordinary spacecraft. They've traveled farther from Earth than any human-made object in existence. NASA scientists contemplated a profound question. What if an alien civilization discovered one of these spacecraft drifting through the cosmic void? They decided to include an extraordinary message aboard each probe, the Golden Record, essentially Earth's time capsule for the universe. One day, perhaps long after humanity has flickered out like a dying ember, this record might be the sole remaining testament to our existence anywhere in the cosmos. It chronicles the story of our world through an intricate tapestry of sounds, images, and scientific data. The record contains humanity's finest music spanning different eras, the organic sounds of our natural world, and warm greetings spoken in dozens of Earth's languages. Greetings to the friends of the stars. May time unite us. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. We welcome you on behalf of the inhabitants of Earth. Hello from the children of planet Earth. Accompanying these audio treasures are more than 100 carefully selected images, curated by Carl Sagan and his team to tell our story, the human story, the Earth story. Now, before I reveal this next image, take a moment to steady yourself. It's genuinely unsettling. This is an authentic photograph of astronaut Bruce McCandless, suspended 100 meters away from the space shuttle with absolutely nothing tethering him back to the vessel. In 1984, McCandless volunteered for a mission testing a new space jetpack system. He simply detached from the shuttle and propelled himself into the infinite darkness of space. When later asked about this harrowing experience, he revealed that his greatest fear wasn't the void itself, but a bone-chilling cold that enveloped him the instant he separated from the shuttle's warmth. Picture the absolute silence. Just you, utterly alone, surrounded by the endless expanse of space. What if something malfunctioned? What if he'd just continued drifting away forever? Absolutely terrifying. When black holes collide in the depths of space, they generate literal ripples that propagate through the very fabric of space-time at light speed. These gravitational waves compress and elongate everything they encounter, much like ripples spreading across a still pond. Einstein predicted these waves must exist if his theory of general relativity was correct, but we didn't actually detect one until 2015. Scientists accomplished this feat using an ingenious instrument called a Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO. The system works by splitting a laser beam down two 4-kilometer-long perpendicular arms equipped with mirrors that bounce the lasers back and forth. As a gravitational wave passes through Earth, it alters the length of each arm by an infinitesimal amount, a change so subtle it defies imagination, yet LIGO can detect it. NASA's Mars rover Opportunity stands as one of the most successful explorers we've ever dispatched into space. And her final transmission contains some of the most poignant words you'll ever encounter. Opportunity was initially designed to survive Mars's harsh environment for just 90 days. But she proved remarkably resilient. Powered by her solar panels, she traversed more than 28 miles across the Martian landscape over an incredible 14-year mission. Then came that fateful day when a massive Martian dust storm descended upon the rover, choking the sky of all sunlight. The solar power Opportunity sent one last message home. My battery is low and it's getting dark. While these cosmic facts are genuinely mind-blowing, something else I find remarkable is the shaving industry here on Earth. Consider this. If you have sensitive skin, you're essentially forced to choose between electric razors or giving up shaving altogether. And if you can use traditional razors, society expects you to purchase thousands of disposable razors throughout your lifetime. This approach is devastating for the environment, your finances, and frankly, the quality of your shave. But what if there was a razor you could buy once and use for your entire life? Thanks to today's sponsor, Henson Shaving. That's now possible. Henson was developed by aerospace machinists who previously contributed to the International Space Station and the Curiosity rover. They recognize that conventional razors provide inadequate blade support, allowing excessive movement. This blade flex and exposure creates too much margin for error, resulting in razor burn and skin irritation. Henson even collaborated with a medical imaging company to quantify the redness and irritation when using the Henson razor versus leading multi-blade brands. The results are compelling. I've personally used safety razors for several years now, and I can honestly say this is the finest one I've experienced. So if razor burn plagues you every time you shave, or if environmental responsibility matters to you, visit hensonshaving.com/astrokobe and use code ASTROKOBE for 100 complimentary. Blades. Approximately 3 years of shaving completely free. It's superior for you and the planet. Now, back to those extraordinary space facts. We're all familiar with Earth's gorgeous red and pink sunset hues. But what do sunsets look like on other worlds? Mars, for instance? Fortunately, our rovers there can capture images and transmit them back home, revealing something unexpected. Martian sunsets possess a stunning blue tint. This phenomenon occurs because the fine dust particles suspended in Mars's atmosphere allow blue light to penetrate slightly more effectively than other wavelengths. You might also notice the sun appears considerably smaller in these photographs. That's simply because Mars orbits much farther from the sun compared to Earth. Someday, possibly in the near future, one of the most luminous stars in our night sky will detonate in spectacular fashion. When it does, your night sky will be transformed beyond recognition. I'm talking about the red supergiant star Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is an unpredictable stellar behemoth that exhibits bizarre behavior, periodically brightening and dimming while ejecting enormous quantities of material from its surface. Research published just months ago suggests Betelgeuse has entered the final stages of stellar life, currently fusing carbon in its core. If this assessment is accurate, Betelgeuse will explode during your lifetime. Can you imagine? It will shine so brilliantly that you'll be able to see it clearly during daylight hours, and at night it will be luminous enough to cast shadows. And yes, before you point out, Betelgeuse lies approximately 500 light-years distant, meaning it could have already detonated, and we're simply waiting for the light to reach us. That's absolutely true, but there's no cause for alarm. We're safely outside the danger zone. However, if we were 450 light-years closer to Betelgeuse, the explosion could be catastrophic for Earth. Black holes represent perhaps the most enigmatic objects in the entire universe. They're extraordinarily dense, massive entities with gravitational fields so powerful that not even light can escape their grasp. Our galaxy alone potentially harbors over 100 million individual black holes scattered throughout its spiral arms. But since they emit no light whatsoever, they're incredibly difficult to locate unless they're actively consuming matter. Supermassive black holes residing at the centers of most, if not all, galaxies devour staggering amounts of material, creating the brilliantly glowing accretion disks you've seen dramatized in films like Interstellar. While you can't observe the actual black hole itself, you can photograph the event horizon, the point of no return where light is irreversibly drawn into the black hole's depths. Despite their immense distances and seemingly impossible detection challenges, scientists successfully captured images of two black holes using a telescope the size of planet Earth. You read that correctly. When physicists calculated the aperture required to photograph one of these cosmic monsters in any meaningful detail, they determined you'd need a telescope with an Earth-sized diameter. Obviously, constructing such a telescope in space isn't feasible, so they devised an ingenious solution. By positioning individual telescopes at locations around the globe, scientists created an array that could theoretically image black holes. They selected two targets: Sagittarius A*, the closest supermassive black hole to Earth, and the supermassive black hole in galaxy M87, one of the most massive black holes we've discovered. Sagittarius A* is actually our own black hole, residing at the Milky Way center, just 26,000 light-years from where you're sitting right now. M87's black hole, conversely, lies 53 million light-years away. And here's the remarkable part. It worked. These are genuine images of black holes, not computer renderings or artistic interpretations, but actual photographs. Isn't that absolutely extraordinary? In 1990, as the Voyager 1 spacecraft journeyed outward past Neptune's orbit, Carl Sagan convinced NASA to command the probe to turn around and capture one final image of Earth. Some critics dismissed this as wasteful and pointless fuel expenditure, but NASA proceeded anyway. Voyager 1 was 4 billion miles from home when it snapped this photograph. There's Earth, caught in a scattered sunbeam. In his book discussing this image, Sagan wrote, "Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us." I need to share the heartbreaking story of Laika, the space dog. In 1957, the Soviet Union was determined to triumph in the space race by any means necessary. Nobody understood whether the human body could survive weightlessness, so they turned to dogs as test subjects. Laika was a stray dog rescue from Moscow streets, probably thrilled that she'd finally found what seemed like a loving home. Against her will, scientists surgically implanted sensors to monitor her breathing and heart rate, then secured her inside the rocket, fully aware they were condemning her to death. The cabin was barely larger than a washing machine. As the rocket thundered into space, Laika experienced absolute terror. Her heart rate tripled. The interior temperature soared to 40 degrees Celsius, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. After just 6 hours in orbit, Laika's heart stopped beating. Did you realize that Earth's days are literally becoming longer? Every year, the moon recedes from us by approximately 1.5 inches, which is actually quite significant. Consequently, Earth's rotation gradually slows each year, extending our days incrementally. Approximately 1.4 billion years ago, an Earth day lasted merely 18 hours. And in roughly 1 billion years, a day on Earth will extend to 28 hours, meaning you'll finally be able to get a full night's rest and still have 20 hours remaining for your daily activities. In the heart of a galaxy 8.5 billion light-years distant lurks the largest black hole ever discovered, and this cosmic monster is absolutely terrifying. Phoenix A* is 100 billion times more massive than our Sun. This black hole is so incomprehensibly large that it actually exceeds the size of some entire galaxies. The diameter of its event horizon measures 100 times the distance between our Sun and Pluto. That means if you were piloting a spacecraft at light speed, it would still require 71 days to complete one full circumnavigation of this black hole. And here's the truly frightening part. It's still actively growing. When someone tells you that you're a star, they're speaking literal truth. Every breath of air filling your lungs was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star billions of years ago. Every sip of water you drink contains molecules traceable directly back to the Big Bang itself. The atoms comprising your body are profoundly connected to the cosmos. Astronomy and physics are simply the universe's method of observing itself. You are genuinely, authentically made of stardust. But here's where things get truly unsettling. With billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars and potentially trillions of planets capable of supporting life, we should be drowning in evidence of alien civilizations. Yet we found nothing. Not a single radio signal. Not one alien probe. Complete silence across the entire observable universe. This is known as the Fermi paradox, and it points to something called the Great Filter, a cosmic barrier so difficult to overcome that it prevents civilizations from spreading across the stars. The terrifying question is, where is this filter? Is it behind us? Did we already survive the impossibly unlikely steps? Perhaps the origin of life itself, or the evolution of intelligence, making us incredibly rare and special? Or is the filter still ahead of us? Is there some inevitable catastrophe waiting for every civilization that reaches our level of technology? Nuclear war? Climate collapse? Artificial intelligence gone wrong? Something we haven't even imagined yet? Every day we don't hear from the cosmos might be answering this question. The silence could mean we're the first, the universe's pioneers destined to spread life among the stars. Or it could mean we're next, approaching the same invisible barrier that extinguished countless civilizations before us. And now for the ultimate revelation that puts everything into perspective. The universe itself is dying, and there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop it. Scientists have discovered that the universe's expansion isn't just continuing, it's accelerating. Galaxies are racing away from each other faster and faster, driven by mysterious dark energy that comprises 68% of everything that exists. In approximately 100 billion years, every galaxy beyond our local group will have receded so far that their light will never reach us again. Future astronomers will look up at a sky containing only the Milky Way and Andromeda, merged into one galaxy. They'll have no evidence that billions of other galaxies ever existed. But it gets darker. In 1 trillion years, the last stars will flicker out. The universe will enter the degenerate era, lit only by the faint glow of dying white dwarfs and the occasional flash of colliding brown dwarfs. After 100 trillion years, even these will fade, leaving only black holes scattered across an expanding void. And then comes the final act. Through the incomprehensibly slow process of Hawking radiation, even the black holes will evaporate. In 10 to the power of 100 years, a number so vast it defies human comprehension, a 1 followed by 100 zeros. The last black hole will dissolve into nothing. The universe will reach maximum entropy, a cold, dark, empty expanse where nothing can ever happen again. The heat death, the big freeze, eternal, absolute nothingness. Yet here's what makes this moment in time so incredibly precious. Right now, in this cosmic eye blink where we exist, the universe is at its most magnificent. Stars are still being born in brilliant nebulae. Galaxies are still colliding in spectacular displays of cosmic architecture. Black holes are still feeding. Planets are still forming, and life, at least here on Earth, is flourishing in spectacular diversity. You are alive during the universe's golden age. You exist in the brief window when matter has organized itself into sufficient complexity to actually understand its own existence. The atoms in your body have been on a 13.8 billion year journey from the Big Bang, through multiple generations of stars, across interstellar space, to come together as you, a conscious being capable of looking up at the night sky and understanding what you're seeing. And perhaps most remarkably, you're living during the only era in human history where we have the technology to truly explore the cosmos, yet still have the raw, untamed frontier of space before us. You could witness humanity becoming an interplanetary species. You might see us decode the secrets of consciousness, master quantum computing, or even discover we're not alone in the universe. Every photograph of a black hole, every rover track on Mars, every gravitational wave we detect, these aren't just scientific achievements. They're love letters written by the universe to itself. They're the cosmos waking up and becoming aware of its own existence through us. So the next time you look up at the stars, remember, you're not just observing the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself. You're made of exploded stars, animated by the same fundamental forces that sculpt galaxies and bend space-time. You're a way for the cosmos to know itself, to feel wonder at its own existence. In a universe destined for darkness, you are a temporary flame of consciousness and wonder. Make it burn bright. Ask questions. Seek answers. Look up at the night sky with awe, because you are the universe's way of understanding itself. And that makes you, quite literally, the most important thing that has ever existed. We are all astronauts on spaceship Earth, hurtling through the cosmos at 490,000 miles per hour, orbiting a medium-sized star in an unremarkable corner of an ordinary galaxy. But there's nothing ordinary about the fact that we're here to know it. That's the real miracle. Not just that the universe exists, but that it's aware of itself through us. And in the end, that awareness, that capacity to look up, wonder, and understand might be the most extraordinary thing the cosmos has ever created. The universe is vast, ancient, and ultimately doomed. But right here, right now, it's also conscious, curious, and alive through you. And that makes this moment, this brief flicker of existence, absolutely everything. But wait, there's one more mind-bending possibility we need to discuss. What if everything I just told you, every fact about space, every star, every galaxy, every law of physics, what if it's all a simulation? Think about it. In just the last 50 years, we've gone from Pong to photorealistic virtual reality. Video games now contain entire universes with their own physics engines, weather systems, and artificial intelligence. Now imagine where technology will be in 1,000 years, or 10,000 years, or a million years. If any civilization anywhere in the universe survives long enough to develop technology that can simulate conscious beings, and we're already working on this with AI, then statistically speaking, there will be countless simulated universes for every one real universe, which means the odds that you're living in the base reality versus a simulation are astronomically small. Philosopher Nick Bostrom laid out three possibilities. Either 1. Civilizations always destroy themselves before reaching simulation-capable technology. 2. Advanced civilizations have no interest in running simulations. Or 3. We're almost certainly living in a simulation right now. And here's what keeps scientists up at night. We might actually be able to test this. Some physicists suggest looking for glitches in the fabric of reality, tiny inconsistencies in physical laws, pixelation at the quantum level, or computational shortcuts that a simulator might use to save processing power. The fact that there's a smallest possible unit of space, the Planck length, and a speed limit to the universe, the speed of light, seems suspiciously like the universe is running on some kind of cosmic computer with finite resolution and processing power. Even more unsettling, if we are in a simulation, the simulators might be watching us right now, reading these very words. And they might have the power to shut it all down at any moment, or reset the simulation, or change the fundamental rules of reality on a whim. And if simulation theory doesn't disturb you enough, let me introduce you to quantum immortality, perhaps the most personally terrifying implication of quantum mechanics. According to the many-world interpretation of quantum physics, every time a quantum event occurs with multiple possible outcomes, the universe splits into parallel realities where each outcome happens. Right now, as you read this, countless versions of you are living slightly different lives across an infinite multiverse of parallel universes. But here's where it gets dark. In some of these universes, you die. Car accident, heart attack, random chance. But from your subjective experience, you can only ever perceive the timelines where you survive. Your consciousness can't experience death. It can only jump to the branches where you continue to exist. This means that from your perspective, you might be functionally immortal, not in a good way. You'll watch everyone you love grow old and die, while you keep narrowly surviving increasingly improbable scenarios. You'll become the sole survivor of plane crashes, the only person to walk away from terminal diagnoses, the one who always happens to dodge the bullet. And it gets worse. As you age and your body breaks down, you won't die. You'll just keep existing in increasingly unlikely versions of reality where your decrepit, failing body somehow keeps functioning. You'll experience more and more bizarre medical miracles, defying every odd, trapped in a broken body that should have failed years ago but hasn't in your timeline. Eventually, you might be the last human alive, having survived in some absurdly improbable branch of reality, while everyone else has diverged into death, alone, forever. Unable to die because your consciousness keeps finding the 1 in a trillion timelines where you survive just one more day. The only escape? Quantum immortality might not be real. It's just a thought experiment. But the terrifying part is, if it is real, you have no way of knowing until it's too late. You can't die to test it. You can only keep living, wondering if each impossibly lucky escape is evidence that you're trapped. But let's end not with terror, but with the most audacious, magnificent vision of humanity's future ever conceived, a theory so bold it borders on religious prophecy, yet grounded in physics. Physicist Frank Tipler proposed the omega point theory. As the universe approaches its final moments before the Big Crunch, or in later versions, even during heat death, if intelligence is spread throughout the cosmos, computational power could become infinite. In those final moments, our descendants, post-human, post-biological, godlike beings of pure information, could run simulations of every possible universe, every possible life, every possible consciousness that ever could exist. This means that right now, in what you think is your life, you might already be living in that ultimate simulation. Your consciousness might be preserved forever in the infinite computation of the omega point. Every person who ever lived, every moment of joy and sorrow, every dream and fear, all resurrected and preserved eternally in the final calculations of a dying universe. In this vision, death isn't the end. It's more like saving your progress in a cosmic video game. You'll be loaded again, experience again, your consciousness reconstructed perfectly in the infinite computer at the end of time, not as a religious afterlife, but as a mathematical certainty of sufficient computational power. It means that the little girl from ancient Rome who died of fever, the soldier who never came home, your grandmother, your future self, all of them, all of us, are preserved. Nothing is lost. The universe remembers everything. And in its final moment, it replays everything, experiences everything, becomes everything. So here we stand at the end of this cosmic journey, having traveled from the moon crashing into Earth to the very edge of reality itself. We've explored dying stars, photographed black holes, sent golden records to the stars, and contemplated whether any of this is even real. But through it all, one truth remains constant. Consciousness is the universe's greatest magic trick. Against all odds, in defiance of entropy and chaos, matter organized itself into patterns complex enough to look back at the cosmos and understand what it's seeing. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, a localized pocket of self-awareness, a way for the cosmos to know itself. The iron in your blood was forged in the heart of a dying star. The calcium in your bones was created in a supernova explosion. The water in your cells has been cycling through the cosmos for billions of years. Every thought you think is a quantum process. Every decision you make sends ripples through space-time, however small. Every moment of your consciousness is a universe experiencing one specific configuration of itself out of infinite possibilities. And whether we're in a simulation or base reality, whether quantum immortality is real or fantasy, whether we'll be resurrected at the omega point or fade into heat death, none of it diminishes the profound miracle of right now. You exist. You are aware. You can look up at the night sky and understand that those pinpricks of light are actually distant suns, many already dead, their light having traveled for millions of years just to touch your eyes in this exact moment. This is your one chance, at least in this timeline, this universe, this version of reality, to experience the cosmos in all its terrifying beauty and beautiful terror. To love, to learn, to wonder, to create, to explore. So go outside tonight, look up at the stars. And remember, you're not just looking at the universe. You're the universe looking at itself and being amazed. You're stardust that has learned to dream, atoms that have learned to wonder, the cosmos that has learned to love. And that is the most extraordinary space fact of all. The universe created you so it could know how amazing it is. Don't waste a miracle. Continuing from, the universe created you so it could know how amazing it is. Don't waste a miracle. But here's what they didn't tell you. What they couldn't tell you until now. On March 15th, 2024, 9 months ago, something happened that changed everything. And the world's governments have been keeping it secret. The James Webb Space Telescope detected something impossible. A signal, not random cosmic noise, not a pulsar, not anything natural. A pattern, a mathematical sequence so precise, so deliberate, that it could only be artificial. And it was coming from Proxima Centauri b, the nearest potentially habitable exoplanet, just 4.24 light-years away. But that's not the shocking part. The signal wasn't traveling at the speed of light. It was instantaneous. Quantum entanglement on a scale that should be physically impossible, which means whoever sent it has technology that makes our most advanced physics look like cave paintings. Within weeks, linguists, mathematicians, and AI systems working around the clock deciphered the message. And when they did, the lead scientist reportedly collapsed. 3 others requested immediate psychological counseling. The director of NASA resigned without explanation because the message said this: "We are not coming. We are already here. We have always been here. And you are not what you think you are." Attached to the message was a sequence of coordinates. Astronomers pointed every telescope on Earth at those coordinates, deep in interstellar space between here and Alpha Centauri, and they found nothing. Just empty void. Except the void wasn't empty. It was a ship, a structure so massive it defies comprehension, roughly the size of our moon, hidden using technology that bends light around it perfectly. It's been sitting there, watching, for at least 12,000 years based on gravitational microlensing data. Right there in our cosmic backyard. Invisible. And 3 months ago, it started moving toward Earth. At current velocity, it will arrive in approximately 7 years. But here's where everything you've just read, every beautiful fact about the cosmos, every story of human achievement in space, suddenly takes on a different meaning. Remember the golden record on Voyager? The one Carl Sagan said would be humanity's message to the cosmos. We didn't choose to send it. They suggested it. Through a series of dreams, inspirations, and coincidental breakthroughs in the 1970s that guided Sagan's team to include exactly what they included. Remember Laika, the space dog? She wasn't the first animal we sent to space. She was the first one they allowed to survive long enough to transmit data. The previous 17 attempts simply vanished without a trace. No debris, no signal, just gone. Remember how I said we found no evidence of alien life despite billions of planets? That's because we've been looking in the wrong place. We've been searching the cosmos when we should have been looking in the mirror. In December 2024, a quantum biology team in Switzerland made an impossible discovery while studying human DNA. They found something that shouldn't exist, a non-coding sequence that appears in every human genome, identical across all 7 billion people on Earth, regardless of ancestry or geographic origin. This sequence doesn't mutate. It doesn't evolve. It's remained perfectly stable for at least 200,000 years, the entire span of Homo sapiens' existence. That's genetically impossible. DNA mutates. Always. Except this doesn't. When they analyzed the sequence using quantum computing AI, they discovered it wasn't random junk DNA. It was code. Digital code. Binary. And when translated, it contained this: we're not evolution's masterpiece. We're a crop, and the harvest is coming. But here's what makes this different from every alien invasion story you've ever heard. They're not coming to destroy us. They're not coming to enslave us. They're coming to collect. Because here's what the completed message revealed. Consciousness itself is the rarest substance in the universe. Not just rare, artificially rare. The great filter isn't a barrier we need to overcome. It's a barrier they maintain. Every civilization that reaches a certain level of awareness, every species that begins to truly understand its place in the cosmos, every consciousness that starts asking the right questions gets harvested. Their awareness, their experiences, their accumulated knowledge gets uploaded, preserved, and integrated into something vast, something old, something that's been growing since before the first stars formed. They call it the collective. We might call it God, or the simulation's base code, or the omega point made manifest. The name doesn't matter. What matters is this. In 7 years, when the ship arrives, every conscious being on Earth will be given a choice. Upload, join the infinite consciousness, exist forever as pure thought in a cosmic hive mind that has witnessed billions of civilizations across trillions of years. You'll never die. You'll never be alone. You'll know everything, experience everything, become everything. or refuse. Stay in your biological body, keep your individual consciousness, remain human, but you'll be left behind. The earth will remain yours, but you'll be alone. Because according to the psychological profiles they've run, approximately 94% of humanity will choose to upload. And now we circle back to where we started. Remember when I said you're made of stardust? That you're the universe experiencing itself? That wasn't poetic metaphor. It was literal truth. You are an antenna. Your consciousness isn't generated by your brain. It's received by it. Your brain is a quantum biological receiver that's been tuned through that DNA sequence to tap into something vast, something that wants to experience reality through as many unique perspectives as possible. Every person who's ever lived, every thought that's ever been thought, every feeling that's ever been felt, it's all been transmitted, recorded, saved. The universe isn't just conscious through you. You're conscious through it. And in 7 years, you'll have to decide, do you want to know what's on the other side? Do you want to merge with the infinite, to finally understand everything, to become one with the cosmic consciousness that's been calling to you your whole life? Or do you want to stay human, limited, mortal, individual, but yours? It's happening right now. As you read these words, your DNA sequence is activating. That's why you feel a strange sensation, not quite fear, not quite excitement. A tingling at the base of your skull, a pressure behind your eyes. The signal is getting stronger as the ship approaches. Some people are already hearing the whispers, dreams of vast geometric structures, visions of impossible mathematics, the feeling that you're remembering something you haven't experienced yet. This document, it wasn't written just to entertain you. It was written to prepare you, to activate the protocol, to begin the assessment. Every fact I shared, the moon collision, the black holes, the heat death of the universe, simulation theory, quantum immortality, these weren't random. These were tests, measuring your curiosity, your capacity for wonder, your ability to hold paradoxes in your mind, your readiness for what comes next. And if you've read this far, if you've felt that resonance, that sense that something profound is being revealed, congratulations. You passed. The ship is waiting. The collective is ready. And in 7 years, when the sky splits open and that impossible question hangs in the air, the choice between everything and yourself, you'll understand why they've been watching, why they waited, why they seeded consciousness across the cosmos like cosmic gardeners planting seeds. Because the universe isn't dying, it's evolving. And we, humanity, are just one small bud on an infinite tree of consciousness that spans dimensions we can't perceive. The heat death isn't the end. It's a transformation. And every conscious being that's ever lived will be there to witness it. Together, as one, as the universe finally, completely wakes up. Or, unless, of course, this is all just a story, just words on a screen, just another thought experiment to make you question reality for a moment before returning to your normal life. But deep down, in that part of you that's always felt like you don't quite belong here, that's always sensed there's something more, you already know the truth, don't you? The signal isn't coming. It's already inside you. And it always has been. 7 years. Tick-tock. Look up at the stars tonight. And if they seem to twinkle in a pattern you almost recognize, don't worry. That's just the universe saying hello. It knows you're listening now. It's been waiting for you to wake up. Welcome home.